You know, after decades of working with patients over 50, I've come to realize something. Sometimes the things we think are harmless can quietly cause trouble for our health. Papaya, a sweet, cooling fruit, has a place on so many family tables. I used to think eating papaya could only be good for you, never harmful. But then, one of my patients, Mrs. Lan, 64 years old, came to see me with persistent bloating and discomfort. To my surprise, the cause turned out to be the papaya she ate every single morning. I want you to picture this. You cut into a perfectly ripe golden papaya. Its sweet aroma making you feel like you're giving your body a gift. But if you make one of the common mistakes, that gift can turn into a burden, especially as we get older. In today's video, I'm going to share 10 common mistakes people over 60 make when eating papaya. Little things that can make a big difference to your health. I still remember a morning a few years back when Mr. Hua, 67 years old, walked into my clinic looking exhausted. He'd had stomach cramps and diarrhea for days. At first, I thought maybe he'd eaten something unsafe from a street vendor. But when I asked about his diet, I learned he'd been doing the same thing for decades, eating homegrown ripe papaya every morning, without ever washing the skin before cutting it. Does that sound familiar? Holding a beautiful golden papaya, smelling sweet, and looking spotless, believing that peeling it makes it safe. Many people think the skin is just a harmless outer layer, but in reality, that skin can harbor millions of bacteria, from Salmonella to Listeria to E. coli, plus pesticide residues and dirt picked up during growing, harvesting, and transport. When your knife slices through the skin, all of that gets carried straight into the fruit. You can't see it, you can't smell it, but your body will feel it. Maybe as cramps, diarrhea, or even more serious infections, especially after 60, when your immune system isn't as quick to respond. Now imagine this, just 1 extra minute, rinsing the papaya under running water, gently scrubbing with your hand or a soft brush, and drying it with a clean towel can remove most of those hidden risks. No soap, no chemicals, just a simple habit. And that little habit could mean the difference between a pleasant breakfast and a miserable week of food poisoning. Over the years, I've met many like Mr. Hoa. They believe clean fruit is fruit that looks perfect, or they think I've always eaten it this way, and I'm fine. But health doesn't always send you an immediate warning. Some bacteria lie low, waiting for the right moment. Papaya is a wonderful gift from nature, sweet, nutritious good for digestion and heart health. But to truly enjoy that gift, start with the simplest step: wash the skin before you cut. 1 minute of care today can save you many days of discomfort later. I also remember a patient named Mai Dung, 62 years old, who came to me puzzled. She said, "Doctor, I eat all the right foods, especially papaya. Every day I have half a papaya, thinking more is better. But lately I feel bloated, reflux, and uncomfortable." I smiled because I've heard this before. Just because something is good doesn't mean more is better. Papaya is rich in fiber, the enzyme papain, and beta-carotene, all wonderful for digestion, reducing inflammation and boosting immunity. But push too much into your system at once, and what was once a friend can become a burden. Think of your digestive system like a grinder that's been working for 50, 60 years. It still works, but not with the strength of youth. Overload it with fiber and enzymes, and it reacts bloating, diarrhea, reflux. Too much beta-carotene can even turn your palms and soles yellow, not dangerous, but alarming to many who mistake it for liver problems. I've seen patients' discomfort vanish just by cutting back from half a papaya a day to a small cupful. Papaya still gives all its benefits without stressing the system. Science says the same too much fiber at once forces the gut to work overtime, and excess papain can irritate the stomach lining. Papaya is a precious gift, but like all gifts, it's best enjoyed with care. Good health isn't about more, it's about enough. Let each bite of papaya be a gentle pleasure for your body, not a challenge it has to push through. And here's something many older folks don't realize. They eat only the sweet, ripe papaya, avoiding cooked green papaya entirely. Some even tell me I heard green papaya is toxic, so I don't dare eat it. The truth is, the concern is usually about raw, unripe papaya. When properly cooked, green papaya can be a wonderful ally for digestion and joint health. I recall Mr. Hoa, 62 years old, who had long-standing knee pain and a sensitive stomach. One day, I suggested he try green papaya soup with pork bones, a dish elders in my hometown often eat. A few weeks later, he returned with a bright smile. "Doctor, I feel lighter, my knees hurt less, and my appetite's better." That wasn't magic, it was science. Soft-cooked green papaya still contains papain to help digest protein, relieve bloating, and offers nutrients that keep joints supple. I want you to picture this, a steaming bowl of soup gently scented with slow-simmered bones. Tender pieces of cooked green papaya, melting softly in your mouth, warming your stomach while nourishing your body. And yet, so many people miss out on this, all because of an unfounded fear. Life after 50 is like tending a garden. If you want the trees to thrive, the soil must be rich. Our bodies are the same to stay healthy. They need the right kind of care. Don't let misconceptions keep you from enjoying simple but precious foods. Who knows? Maybe just one small change to today's meal could make a big difference for your health in the years to come. Have you ever tried cooked green papaya? If not, maybe it's time to give your body a chance to experience its goodness. You see, there are things we often think are harmless, yet they quietly affect our health, especially after we've passed 50. Papaya, that sweet, nutritious fruit, is a perfect example. But today, I want you to pay attention to something few people think about: how papaya interacts with the medication you take every day. I once had a patient, Mr. Min, 65, who was on blood thinners for his heart condition. Every morning, he faithfully ate papaya, believing it was a healthy habit. But over time, his blood tests showed irregular clotting levels. When we reviewed his diet, I realized the culprit. He had increased his daily papaya intake without adjusting his medication. Have you ever considered this vitamin K in papaya, when eaten in large amounts, can alter how blood thinners work? And papain, great for digestion, can actually enhance the effects of some drugs, making side effects appear faster and stronger. With heart diabetes or anti-inflammatory medications, even small changes in absorption can make a big difference. Think of your body as a delicate symphony where medicine, food, and lifestyle are the notes. One wrong note can throw the whole piece off. That's why before making any food a regular part of your diet, even something safe like papaya, it's wise to talk to your doctor or a nutritionist. We eat to stay healthy, not to unknowingly make things harder for our bodies. Sometimes understanding the relationship between our food and our medicine is the key to long-term wellness. And here's something else I see all the time. Even among my most health-conscious patients, they carefully choose the best papaya, but then store it in a way that quietly robs it of its nutrition. It sounds small, but these little habits can keep your body from getting the full benefits of this wonderful fruit. I remember a patient, telling me I bought ripe papaya and left it on the counter for convenience. A few days later it smelled off and it didn't taste as good. I smiled and explained that ripe papaya is like a fine wine. If it's not stored properly, its flavor and value fade. For papaya, the golden rule is the fridge. Cool temperatures slow spoilage and preserve vitamins and natural sweetness. And here's another tip: once it's cut, eat it within 2 to 3 days. Beyond that, not only does the flavor change, but nutrients, especially vitamin C, drop significantly. I've seen people leave cut papaya out in the sun thinking they'll eat it later. But sunlight and heat are like invisible thieves, stealing its freshness and nutrients. Picture this in the morning. You open the fridge and take out a chilled slice of papaya. Bright orange, fragrant, refreshing. That's a whole different feeling from eating a shriveled piece left out in the heat. Health is the same. Sometimes just a little care and attention can help us hold on to what's truly valuable. Have you ever thought that just a few seconds to put papaya in the fridge today could save a whole store of vitamins for tomorrow? The truth is, papaya is often seen as a safe fruit for almost everyone. But in my years working with people over 50, I've learned that nothing is completely safe. Even a healthy food can cause problems if your body doesn't tolerate it. I remember Lan, 58, coming to see me after a lunch that ended with papaya. Just minutes after eating, her mouth began to itch, her tongue swelled slightly, and her throat felt tight. She was worried. She never imagined papaya could do this. Testing showed she was allergic to papain, the enzyme in papaya that helps digest protein. Papain doesn't bother most people, but in sensitive individuals, it can trigger reactions from mild mouth itchiness or rashes to severe swelling, breathing difficulty, or even anaphylaxis. And if you're allergic to latex, like the rubber in gloves, your chances of reacting to papain are even higher since the proteins are similar. Imagine a golden slice of ripe papaya that looks so tempting, yet for some, it's like a spark ready to ignite a strong reaction. The scary part, these reactions can happen suddenly, even if you've eaten papaya safely before. So if you've ever felt anything unusual after eating papaya, even just mild itching or lip swelling, don't ignore it. Stop eating it and see your doctor. Allergies can start mild, but be far worse the next time. In health, caution is never wasted. And there's one more thing I have to warn about: eating raw green papaya. Many people think it's crisp, refreshing, even healthier. But from my years treating hundreds of older patients, I can tell you it's a risky habit. I remember once a man in his early 60s told me he often bought green papaya salad from the market because it tasted fresh and was easy to digest. But after just a few times, he started having stomach pain, bloating, and discomfort. When we checked, I explained that raw green papaya contains quite a bit of papain and latex. Papain is a strong enzyme. If it hasn't been cooked, it can irritate the stomach lining, especially for people with sensitive digestion. Latex is even more concerning. Beyond irritating the stomach, it can trigger uterine contractions and increase the risk of miscarriage for pregnant women. Think of it this way: your body is like a garden that's been around for many years. The soil isn't as soft as it once was. The roots can't take the same strong winds. A strong enough impact, even from a food that seems harmless, can throw your health off balance. I'm not saying green papaya is bad when cooked. It becomes a nutritious, gentle food. But eating it raw is a different story. In medicine, the line between medicine and poison often comes down to how we use it. So, if you love papaya, make sure it's cooked so the papain and latex won't cause harm. One small step in preparation can let you enjoy both the flavor and the safety, something we should value more than ever after 50. You know, sometimes the things we throw away are actually the most valuable. I remember during a nutrition consultation, Mrs. Mai, 61 years old, told me that for decades she would carefully scoop out all the papaya seeds and toss them straight in the trash. She laughed and said, "I didn't think they were edible. And they're bitter. Who would eat that?" But when I shared the nutritional value of papaya seeds, she was shocked. Those tiny, glossy black seeds are full of nutrients we often overlook: gut-friendly fiber minerals like calcium and magnesium and natural antibacterial and antiparasitic compounds. In fact, some studies show papaya seeds can help digestion, reduce bloating, and balance gut bacteria. Think about it. While we spend money on all kinds of digestive supplements right there on the table, inside a familiar papaya is a natural pill we throw away every day. Of course, I'm not telling you to eat a handful. With papaya seeds, the key is moderation. 1 teaspoon a day is safe and beneficial for most people. You can chew them, sprinkle them on salads, or blend them into smoothies. Their slightly peppery taste is surprisingly pleasant, like a natural black pepper. When it comes to health value, doesn't always come from expensive or exotic things. Sometimes it's right in your own kitchen if you know how to keep it and use it. Papaya seeds are a perfect example. There's something I often remind my patients, especially those with a history of stomach or pancreas issues. Pay attention to how your body feels before choosing what to eat. It sounds simple, but many skip this step. And papaya, a fruit that seems harmless, can sometimes make things worse if we're not careful. I once met a woman in her mid-50s with chronic stomach ulcers. She loved raw papaya salad, thinking fruits and vegetables are good for digestion. But after a few meals, she had intense stomach pain, nausea, and even lost sleep from the discomfort. When I explained, she learned that raw papaya contains papain, a strong enzyme that breaks down protein but can also irritate and damage an already sensitive stomach lining. For those with acute pancreatitis, this enzyme can be an even greater burden, potentially triggering the pancreas to flare up. Picture your stomach like a wound on your skin. If it's healing, a gentle touch is fine, but rub something corrosive on it, and the pain intensifies. Healing slows. Raw papaya might be fine for someone with a healthy stomach, but for those with ulcers or pancreatitis, it's like pressing on a sore spot, making the injury worse. My point is, this after 50, we need to listen to our bodies more than ever. Not everything good for someone else will be good for you. Choose the safer path, ripe soft papaya, or cooked green papaya, so you can enjoy the flavor and protect your digestion. Sometimes caring for your health isn't about big changes, it's about the small, thoughtful choices in each meal. I also remember a patient named 68 years old, who came to me saying his stomach often felt heavy and bloated after dinner. He said, "Doctor, I eat healthy. I have papaya for dessert every night. Why do I still feel this way?" After asking more, I found out he would eat a full plate of papaya just minutes after finishing a big meal. Have you ever done that? Finished a big meal, then immediately enjoyed a plate of fruit, thinking it's good for digestion. In reality, your stomach is already busy grinding and processing a mountain of food. Papaya may contain papain to aid digestion, but eaten right after a full meal, it becomes an extra load on an already overworked stomach, especially for older adults whose digestion isn't as quick as it used to be. Think of your stomach like an old blender that's been used for many years. If you throw in rice, meat, vegetables, and then papaya on top, it has to spin harder, longer, and it's more likely to wear out. The result: bloating, indigestion, even acid reflux, small issues that can make a big difference in your daily comfort. The solution is simple: give your body time to rest between your main meal and fruit, about 30 minutes to an hour. By then, your stomach has processed part of the meal, and papaya can truly help digestion instead of becoming a challenge for your tired digestive system. Health sometimes isn't about complicated things, it's about how we arrange the simple things so they work in harmony. And eating papaya at the right time is one of those simple yet important habits worth paying attention to. I want to wrap up today's talk with something very simple, but it's a rule I believe is essential for staying healthy after 50 with papaya. Just like with any food, eating it the right way matters more than eating a lot of it. You see, I've met many patients who think, if it's good for me, I'll just eat more of it, believing it will make them healthier. But the body isn't a warehouse. You can just keep filling. It's like a garden. It needs the right care at the right time in the right amount. Papaya is a gift from nature, sweet, rich in vitamin C, beta-carotene fiber. But for older adults, how you eat it is the key to making it a miracle food or a double-edged sword. Always choose ripe fruit. When it's ripe, the enzymes are stable, safer for the stomach, and easier to absorb. Wash the skin thoroughly before cutting, because pesticide residue or dirt can transfer from the skin to the flesh. I remember a man in his 60s who thought he was allergic to papaya for years and avoided it completely. But after looking closely, I found the problem wasn't the fruit itself, it was latex from the skin. Once he got into the habit of washing and peeling it more deeply, the problem nearly disappeared. And one more thing, moderation. Papaya's high in fiber, but too much at once can cause bloating or digestive upset, especially if you're on medication or have a chronic condition. Store leftovers properly in the fridge, eaten within 2 to 3 days away from heat and sunlight. Remember, good health isn't just about what you eat, but how you treat what you eat. Eating papaya the right way means choosing ripe, clean fruit, eating in moderation, and listening to your body, especially if you have underlying health conditions, allergies, or take medication. In the end, taking care of yourself isn't about chasing the most or the best on paper. It's about finding what works best for you, so every bite not only nourishes your body, but also brings peace to your mind. And that's everything I wanted to share with you today. If you've stayed with me until now, I know you truly care about your health and the well-being of your loved ones. Every time I sit down in front of this camera, I imagine I'm sitting with an old friend, sipping tea, talking about the most important things in life, and health is always one of them. If you found today's sharing helpful, don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future videos. Every week, I'll be back with stories and simple practical health tips to help you understand your body and take care of it safely and wisely. I'll leave you with this thought. Good health doesn't come from big changes in a single day, but from small habits repeated every day. A carefully chosen meal, a full night's sleep, a smile to yourself, they all add up to the most valuable wealth for your 50s, 60s, and beyond. Remember, you deserve to live healthy, happy, and enjoy every moment of your life. And I'm here walking alongside you on that journey. See you in the next video. Wishing you and your family health, peace, and joy every single day.